Hey guys, it's Alex here, and this week I'm going to show you how to start a siphon for a water change without getting a mouthful of fish tank water. Before that though, if this is your first time here, I put out a video every week with tips on how to set up and maintain an awesome reef tank. So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss out on anything. Right, let's get stuck in. The classic way to start an aquarium water change is to put a tube in your aquarium and suck on the other end to create a siphon to draw water out of your tank. Attaching a water pump to the hose to do the pushing for you can make water come out too quickly, unless of course you have a ground level sump, in which case the only thing you have to worry about is being able to reach the plug socket to turn the pump off at the right time. But a siphon tube is probably the most commonly used method of draining water from aquariums, and it's what we all seem to be taught when we start doing water changes. But the tricky part is that you have to judge the point at which you've sucked on the pipe hard enough to get the siphon started without leaving it to the point that you get a mouthful of salty stuff, as it were. But as it turns out, there is a much easier way. Just insert the tube completely into your aquarium, making sure it fills with water. If you can wedge the end under something like an algae magnet to hold it in place, so much the better. Then put your thumb over the end of the tube and pull part of the tube out of your tank. The water on the tube will drip, so hold it in the air for a few seconds to let it drip off. Then lower it out of your aquarium so your thumb is below the water level of your tank. Remove your thumb, et voila, the siphon starts. And instead of a mouthful of fish poo water, you just have a slightly damp thumb. And of course, this isn't just useful for water changing. It's especially handy for decanting water from containers that are either too full to pour without spilling, or have awkward spouts that drip when it pours. For example, this 1/4-inch John Guest tube lives permanently in the 2.5 gallon containers my dosing liquids come in. The narrower the tube you use, the slower the flow, and of course the wider the tube, the faster the flow, so it can work on large or small volumes of liquid. You can also attach a ball valve to the pouring end of the tube so you don't have to use your thumb, which also makes stopping and restarting the siphon easier. And you can of course get a larger ball valve and use the same trick for your water change tube. You can always buy something like this that uses a balloon valve to start the siphon, but there's something satisfying about the simplicity of a siphon tube with a tap. And you can choose the perfect width tube to suit your particular application, from wide tubes for faster water flow to narrow tubes for slow, accurate flow. And if there is a better water change hack in the world, I'm yet to see it. Now, I've been keeping fresh and saltwater fish for around 8 or 9 years now, and yet I have only recently discovered this trick. So if you didn't know about it either, let me know in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe for next week. And until next time, happy reefing.
But the tricky part is that you have to judge the point at which you've sucked on the pipe hard enough to get the siphon started. But the tricky part is that you have to judge the point at which you've sucked on the pipe hard enough to get the siphon started without leaving it to the point that you get a mouthful of salty stuff, as it were.